Remember who we are, to put everything that is new, like always, into perspective. It's a nice thing to remember that things are always changing, that you are living in a dynamic environment that is and always has and always will be changing. And you are adaptive beings. And by that we mean not just adaptive to your environment, but adaptive to the energy stream that you are about. You are an extension of source energy. If you've been listening to us for a while, you have heard that from us often. You are here in these physical bodies as an extension of so much more. And remembering that so much more part and acknowledging the right now existence of it and transmission of it is really good for you, because as you acknowledge that there is that part of you, aware of where you are right now, aware of what your perspective is and what your opinion about your perspective is, your inner being is aware of right now, your right now too. And so as your inner being is aware of where you are in relationship to where you want to be, your inner being is always calling you in the direction of who you really are, of who you really all are, of who all of you really is, of the whole of who you are, calling you toward that. Because as you are moving in the direction of that wholeness, as you are moving in the direction of the desires that are new in every moment, that's where you feel not just ease or not just relief, but in time, enough momentum that you feel true satisfaction, true exhilaration, true sense of wholeness, a true sense of well-being. And not just well-being in the sense that something troubling is being resolved, but well-being in the sense that here you are, all of you, the physical you and the non-physical you, focused together in thought and focused together in attraction. If you've listened to us for a little while, we know that we talk never-endingly about the powerful law of attraction and how it is the manager of all things. And we talk to you about managing your thoughts by paying attention to the way you feel and blah, blah, blah. You've heard all of it. You know that. We know that you understand and know that.
For me, the foundational base of empowerment, of entrepreneurship, of any kind of engagement, the foundational base of my success, of my well-being, my wholeness, my everything is knowing who I am and where I come from. In my living room right now is a painting that I've owned now for 30 years. You can Google it. It's called To the Highest Bidder. And it's at the center of my house. And it's at the center of my house because it actually is symbolic of the foundation of not the house, but the foundation for my life. The painting is by Harry Roslin, who was a genre painter in the early 20th, late 19th century. And the painting's over 6 feet tall, and it shows a slave woman on the auction block holding her daughter's hand. And I cannot come in the door, my front door, or I cannot leave without passing that painting. I am reminded of where I come from every day of my life, and I am reminded because I never want to forget it. And in my library, I have a framed list of enslaved African-American people, remember I showed you, who were held in bondage on various plantations, listed in the ledgers alongside the cows and the horses and the buggies and the other property. And I pass this list every day. And often I stop in front of it and just speak their names out loud and their ages. Jonas, 11 years old, $500. Sarah, 41 years old, $900. Elizabeth, $57,800. And I forced myself to consider the absurdity and the obscenity of prices being affixed to each one should they be placed up for sale. And I sometimes just pause before them with a prayer, particularly before I have to make a big decision about one of my companies or whether I move forward or whether I stay still. It reminds me, speaking those names out loud, not only of where I've come from, but how far I have to go because of them. And it reminds me that I am never alone. It reminds me of what I've come through to get through.
Remember who you are. We all face challenges in life that we don't know how are going to work out. How am I going to get well? How am I going to meet the right person? How is this dream going to come to pass? But here's the key. The how is not as important as the who. When you know who you are, a child of the Most High God, crowned with favor, with royal blood flowing through your veins, then the who will override the how. The how is not up to us. The how may look impossible. If you stay focused on how, you're going to get worried, discouraged. Your job is not to figure everything out. Your job is to honor God, be your best, and He will take care of the how. We spend too much time on the how. How is my child going to get back on course? How am I going to make it through this pandemic? How can I overcome this opposition at work? Why don't you spend that same time on the who? Father, thank you that I am your child. Thank you that you handpicked me. You chose me before I could choose you. Thank you that you are for me, that you are fighting my battles. If you'll focus on the who, God will take care of the how. When our children were small, they never once said, Daddy, how are we going to pay our bills this month? How are we going to get to school tomorrow? How are we going to have something for dinner tonight? They were never concerned about the how because they knew the who. Because they belonged to us, they knew their Father was going to take care of it. They knew Daddy is going to keep us safe. Daddy's going to make sure we get there. Daddy's going to protect us, provide, show us favor. What if we had that same kind of childlike faith? Not trying to figure out all the hows, worried about how our health is going to improve and how we're going to accomplish the goal, how we're going to get out of this difficulty. Can I tell you, your Heavenly Father is going to take care of the hows. When you understand that you belong to Him, then you can live from a place of peace knowing that Daddy's going to protect you. Daddy's going to show you favor. Daddy's going to turn that problem around. As an earthly father, I knew how to do things that my children didn't understand. I had experience, wisdom, strength that they didn't have. How much more so our Heavenly Father? He created the universe. He flung stars into space. He has ways of doing things that we can't see. He's working behind the scenes, lining up what you need to accomplish your dreams. He already has a solution to that problem that's stressing you out. He has angels watching over you. He has favor surrounding you. He's put a blessing on your life that circumstances and people cannot stop. You have an advantage because of who your Heavenly Father is. And when you face situations you don't see how they could work out, don't live worried. The how is not up to you. God wouldn't have allowed it if it was going to keep you from your destiny. He won't let you get in a problem that He can't get you out of. If you'll stay focused on the who, knowing that you are His child, that you are blessed, favored, anointed, empowered, then God will take care of the how.